Hi everyone, Janie here. Welcome back to my garden. It feels so good to be out in the garden. This is the first day back that I've been back out in the garden since being sick with the flu all last week. And it feels so good and I want to do so much, but I'm holding myself back because I know I need to slowly get back into it. So today my plan is just to do a very easy garden project, something that doesn't take a lot of energy, and that is adding some winter color to my garden. So today I am working over in front of the metal workshop. The metal workshop is, it's not our garage, it's an extra outbuilding that we got on this property, that we have on this property, which honestly, it was one of the main selling points for me because I have so many gardening and like woodworking supplies, just kind of like garage supplies, stuff that you would normally store in a garage. I have so much of that. We have so much of that. We needed more storage for that. And so that's what this metal workshop is for. And I love it. And it's kind of been an eyesore, or it had been an eyesore. And then this past year, we cleaned it all up. We organized the inside. It looks really good. And then I put these 3 pots out here last, I want to say summer, late summer, with these thuyas. And I love it. I love it so much. They're these beautiful terracotta pots with, you know, the fruit kind of hanging around it, the vines and everything like that. They're beautiful terracotta pots. I really, really like it. And then just these green, I think they're green mountain thuyas that are really doing really well. They are hooked up to drip, which is kind of funny because we had a hard time hooking them up to drip. We were able to bring the drip irrigation around down here from over that garden bed. So that's how we were able to get to this one. But these 2 over here, we had to cross this area, this pathway right here. And then the drip irrigation actually goes inside that garage door and then comes back out to go over here. This garage door is actually broken. It doesn't work, but no worries because we actually store stuff on the other side of that garage door. So there's really no reason to open it. This is the main one that we open. So these 3 pots are hooked up to drip. And my plan is to leave the thuyas in for as long as I can, and then just underplant them with seasonal stuff. So you can see what I have in there right now is leftovers from what I planted in fall. And I was so happy with these fall plantings. They did so well. First, I have this Toffee Twist Carex that is, you know, like it's normally this color. It's looking really good. I don't think I'm going to actually get rid of these today. I think I'm just going to, pot them up and replant them somewhere else. I just really, really love that plant. And then I have some Ipomoea that I'm shocked is not completely dead. And then some other coleus. I had some Wicked Hot and Wicked Witch coleus, and I thought for sure they would die so much sooner than they did. I think the heat radiates off of the metal, this corrugated metal workshop, and that's what has kept these guys going for as long as they have been going. But of course now they're kind of faded. They're starting to look a little scraggly. So I want to pull them out, and then I want to underplant these thuyas for winter and early spring with some primrose. So here's the primrose that I got from the garden center here. I actually got it before I got sick, and so they've kind of been sitting in their cans right here for a little while. So you can see a couple of them are, I don't know, they want to get planted. I think I've been trying to keep them watered and everything like that, but of course when you're sick, everything kind of gets pushed off. They're right next to all of these Daphne. I have 4 different types of Daphne that I'm hopefully going to get in the ground tomorrow for my January blooming garden. I have to tell you guys, I'll show you more in that video. Ugh, I'm sorry, it's really bright. But I was walking around the garden this morning, just kind of taking a look at everything. And I walked over and I looked at my February blooming garden, the one that I planted just about 12 months ago. And everything's budded up. Everything's starting to look so good. And that's the goal for these blooming gardens, is that I can, you know, guarantee that once that month comes around the next season, I'm going to have something blooming. And so I think it's working, but I'll show you that in another video. Anyway, back to the primrose. So primrose, or primula, it's technically a perennial and it's hardy in zones 3 through 8. I am zone 9B here, and we really don't overwinter these. These, you know, I kind of think of them as like pansies or violas. like you could technically overwinter them if you babied them and was really careful with them, but they just don't like our heat very much. So just as a little background, this we call Primrose, this bedding plant, this beautiful, beautiful plant with late winter, not even late winter for us, honestly, it's like all winter color and early spring color. This is, we call Primrose, and Primrose is part of the primula family. And the primula family has a whole bunch of different types of primula where they're primrose and then they're also polyanthus. And so it's so interesting because, you know, I kind of, hello, see, yeah, I press record and he comes over for scratches. Anyway, like I was saying before I got interrupted, I am sitting in the shade of my car right now because it is so incredibly bright. All primroses are primulas, but not all primulas are primroses, if that makes sense. So that's the difference between primulas and primrose. There's two main types of primulas. There are primrose, and then there's something called polyanthus. And when you see bedding plants like this is a combination. It's actually a hybrid of primrose and polyanthus. And this is beautiful. It's gorgeous. It has big, beautiful flowers. But it's kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say disappointing, but it's kind of sad because Primrose used to be so popular for collectors. I was watching this BBC program about Victorian gardening, and they were showing how they used to build these structures and all these shelves, and they would display their collections of primulas and primrose because there were so many different super interesting varieties. And obviously that has gone out of style. We don't do that anymore. And really, most of us, when we come across primulas or primrose, we come across bedding plants like this, the primrose polyanthus. They're beautiful, they're gorgeous, but I kind of wish that primulas would come back in style and the collections and all that kind of stuff. It would be hard for me because we get so hot here. I feel like I couldn't do a collection, but I would love to explore other collections in cooler weathers and to see people start collecting, you know, other primulas and stuff like that. So if you do collect primulas, let me know in the comments section because I'm just really interested with all the different, like there's so many varieties. I was looking it up and they're all different colors, all different sizes, all different shapes. Some of them were kind of drooping over. Some of them were outlined, which to emphasize their perfect form. It was just really, really cool to read about. And it's reading about a plant that I have only seen as a bedding plant like this. Still beautiful, but not quite as interesting as the collectible primulas. So what I'm going to be doing today is cleaning out the old plants that I have planted in these pots over in front of my metal workshop, cleaning them out, maybe rejuvenating the soil a little bit depending on what it looks like, and then just planting them really simply with this. I don't have any spillers or anything like that. I just wanted the pink underplanted with the dark green of the thuyas. So I think it's going to be really pretty. If you notice Jason in the background, he is planting we had a whole bunch of plants right there that were left over from last season that we didn't get in the ground. I finally decided where I wanted them and placed them. So he's going through and he's planting them up for me, which is very nice. So I'm going to be working on this. Let's get going. so all 3 pots are cleaned out. They look good. I don't think I need to put any more soil in. Those fall plantings, those fall annuals really didn't root in very much, so I didn't lose too much soil. I will be adding some starter fertilizer though, just to kind of give it a little oomph for these guys. Don't worry, I am going to clean up all these leaves. And then we also had a massive pile of compost right here that we've recently spread over to where the propane tank was. So I want to clean that up too, but I didn't want to clean anything up until after I finished all planting. So I only had to do it once. So those toffee twist carrots, I ended up transplanting over here to my raised Vigo bed over here. I think I'm just going to leave them there until next fall when I do another fall planting in those 3 beds. They will last. They'll be really happy there. You can see I just cut them back, and sorry, I had to take a break to cough. I'm really liking using at least 2 of these beds for like storage beds. Basically, when I have a plant that I'm not really sure where I want to put it just quite yet, but I know I love this plant, I just put them in here. This is the Quickfire Fab hydrangea. I have a bunch of hostas in here. You can't see obviously because they've died back. I have this foxtail fern right here. I have a geranium matarense, gigantic geranium, basically. I got this one from Fanula from Cottage Gardens of Petaluma. Anyway, so it all is not going to stay here. That's the plan. This is just kind of a holding place until I can decide, oh, I really want to put that geranium in this spot or whatever. The only thing that is going to stay here, I was talking about this in my back garden tour, is this flowering maple. I think it's called Victorian Lady. I don't know why I can't remember that. I just was talking about the BBC Victorian gardening in the Victorian Times program. So Victorian Lady, it is a beautiful, beautiful flowering maple, and I've decided that I am going to leave it here. So anyway, I have the toffee twist carrots. They're going to stay here probably all season long. I think they'll be really happy. And then come late summer, I will have these. They should have grown back by then, and I'll be able to retransplant them and reuse them. And that is the benefit for living in a mild climate. Okay, now that I have a nice coating of compost all over my face, I am done. So the pots look amazing. I have to say, the addition of these 3 pots in front of the metal workshop made such a difference. It's such a little thing. Like it didn't cost that much money, and it's not that, like, it's just 3 plants, like 3 big plants and then the underplanting, but it just makes such a difference over here in front of the metal workshop. So I didn't get all of the compost up. I was having trouble breathing as I was blowing. It probably wasn't the smartest thing considering I'm still coughing, so I kind of just cleaned it up a little bit and then stopped. I'll probably have to come in here with the power washer to finish cleaning up all the rest of this compost, but at least you can see how good the primrose looks. Look at that. Isn't that absolutely beautiful? So these should last probably until, I want to say like April. I could probably leave them until June, but I have more plants. Obviously, I have other plants to put in for my summer annuals, but these will last for a while until it gets to the hot part of the summer, and then they'll start suffering and they will stop flowering, stop blooming. So I am going to fertilize these just with like a light fertilizer, probably every other week or something like that, so that I can keep the color. But I just think this looks beautiful. Sometimes you just want something simple, you know, like the fall containers were very complicated and had a whole bunch of different plants, but these are just simple and beautiful. And you all know how much I love pink. So Jason's still over here working. I'll show you what he did in another video later. I'm beat. I'm tired. I'm gonna go inside and I'm gonna rest now. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I hope you all have a chance to get in your garden today.